What's up, guys? Welcome back to our channel, Sunshine State Outdoors. Welcome to the kitchen. What we are going to be doing today is we're going to show you guys just a little bit of a Florida Marsh fish fry. We're going to be doing some frog legs, some tilapia, and some gar. We went out with Captain Jake with Marsh Madness Outfitters, and we had a blast. If you guys saw our last video, we were bow fishing, we were grabbing frogs, we were gigging frogs. Tons of fun. Real quick, we're going to show you guys how to clean all these fish, how to clean some frogs, and then we'll bounce back here and I'll show you guys how to cook them.
All right, guys, we're back here at Wade's house. We got some of the fish we caught yesterday. These are wild tilapia, and I mean, as you can see, this is actually not even one of the bigger ones we killed. This is a really nice specimen. I mean, these are the biggest tilapia I've ever seen. I don't fish for tilapia very often, but I mean, compared to like little farm-raised ones you buy at the store, little fillets, these are huge. I mean, this is probably a 5-pound fish, and we've got some that are much bigger than this. They're actually an invasive species. They're not native to Florida. They're everywhere in Florida, but they actually come from Asia, so there's no regulation on them. They're good to eat, though. A lot of you guys have probably had tilapia, most likely farm-raised that you buy at the store. Tilapia is not my favorite fish, but these are probably going to be about as good as it gets. The water where we killed them was really clean and fresh, so we're going to give it a try. I'm going to show you guys how to clean one of these. They're actually kind of a difficult fish to clean because they've got huge scales. I mean, some of these scales are like, you know, almost like the size of a quarter. So I mean, they're rock hard. Believe it or not, there's actually not a ton of meat on this fish. When you get through with it, you're going to end up with a fillet that looks kind of like this, you know, which you can see from the size of the fish. They're all bones and they're all guts, so the fillet that you get is much smaller than you would think. We're going to kind of work our way through this. Because of the scales, you want to kind of come in at an angle for your first cut. Try and get under those scales as best you can, right under the fin here. Kind of come in at an angle, and you know, your knife should bite under those scales. And try and come around here like this. So you can see I kind of got, it's not perfect, I mean those scales are tough, but I kind of got underneath them like that. Then you're going to take the tip of your knife, just like any other fish, and come down the back here with just the tip, best you can, and just kind of try and follow that dorsal fin all the way down as far as you can get it, all the way to the tail pretty much. You can see once you get under those scales, it's not too bad. You know, if you've ever filleted like a redfish or a fish that's got a lot of scales, you know, it's going to be similar to that, but these have some really big scales. Once you do that, you're going to kind of take your fingers here and get under that spine, or under that fillet, and just kind of follow the knife down the spine, just like you would any other fish. And that meat's going to just kind of peel away. You can kind of just feel it with the tip of your knife. Bounce it off the ribs as you get down there. Yeah, they're pretty bony, so you know, you just kind of got to be careful not to cut yourself. Come up here and, you know, kind of work it down. And you can also kind of come from the back. I like to put my knife through the other side here, if I can find where it is, and then just cut that tail out. And then you can just, oops, I missed a little bit of meat there, but oh well. You can just follow the backbone right up and kind of peel the fillet off as you go. I don't know if you guys can see that, it's a little bit slippery, but essentially you're just skipping that bone, or skipping that knife off that bone here, and kind of cutting your way through any major ribs or anything you get caught on. The ribs are right here. You can see my knife is hitting that. That's rock hard. There's really no meat there, and I've actually done a pretty good job of getting all this meat. So you're just going to kind of continue to feel your way through those ribs. The ribs are really tough on these things. You can see right there, there's no meat on that. That's just all rib right there. Go ahead and cut that. And all this is just guts and ribs. There's no meat there at all. So what you end up with is something that looks kind of like that. And you can see there's not a lot of meat that I missed here. This is all guts and ribs. Up here is right on that bone. So for a fish that's this big, you really end up with a pretty small fillet. Once you're done with that, you're going to kind of angle your knife down. Luckily those scales actually provide a pretty firm little cutting board for you. You're not going to cut through those scales, and just work your knife along that bony scale plate there, flipping it up as you go. You can get like, once you get a little grip on it, it makes it easier. And just slowly come across like this. You're not going to get all of it, but you can do a pretty good job. And then that's what you end up with. And you can see, really didn't miss that much meat on there. I mean, within, you know, 1/8 of an inch of some meat, but you end up with just a bony piece of fillet skin. That's what you got. You know, most of this fish is guts and bones, and then you just flip it over and do the exact same thing on the other side.
Up next is some good old frogs. When we were out with Captain Jake, we were able to get on some bullfrogs, and we got a whole pile of them. Not the biggest. Florida isn't known for huge frogs by any means, but we did get some pretty good sized ones, and we could have probably just filled the cooler full of these, but we decided that we wanted to bow fish more, so that's what we did. But I'm just going to show you guys real quick how to clean these. So really, there's not much meat in the front legs, so you don't really have to worry about those. So what you do is you're just going to take a knife and you're just going to cut all the way around.
And that's going to deal with pretty much all your guts and everything right there.
All your guts are going to come out. You just want to kind of make sure that you get all that skin off.
This knife just got done cleaning a bunch of scaly tilapia, so it may be a little bit on the dull side now.
I should have probably sharpened it a little bit, but that'll be okay. Just cut them right there. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to need a good pair of needle nose pliers, and you just grab them by the skin, and you're just going to pull their pull their pants off. There we go.
There you go. Just like that. Take off a pair of trousers.
Yep. Then you're gonna cut your back. That's what you're left with, and we'll rinse those nice and good. But we're just gonna clean this whole pile of them real quick, and they'll be great in the deep fryer.
So we got one of the gar we shot yesterday. This is a pretty decent sized one. It's about like pretty average, maybe a little bit on the bigger side, but kind of a medium one. These are tough to clean. I've not done a whole lot of them, but basically you almost kind of clean them from the outside in, because it's like one huge exoskeleton here, and then they've got obviously a spine down the middle. So instead of filleting down the spine like you normally would on a fish, you actually end up filleting the scales off the fish, and then you're left with like a tube of meat that then pretty much comes right off the spine. It's actually white, soft meat. It's kind of been described as like poor man's lobster. Some people say it tastes like gator, although it's not nearly as tough as gator. The hardest part is getting through the shell originally. If you're bow fishing for these and you can hit them right there, that's going to give you a good start. But in this case, we actually used a drill bit to drill in to kind of, you know, give you enough room to get your shears through. Some people actually will use like a Sawzall or an electric fillet knife, carving knife. But we are going to just muscle our way through this, and it's not easy. They have a tough exoskeleton, which is actually not an exoskeleton, but it acts like one. As you can hear that.
It's almost like you're cutting through bone.
Yeah, I mean, it really is just like cutting through bone. Try and stay as center line as possible, otherwise you'll have to go through the spine on the other side. So I'm kind of drifting off to the side here, so I'm going to try and bring it back to center. Oops. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to get too far off center line, because then you won't be able to cut through the spine to get to the other fillet. But we're actually getting to the point where I'm going to be good with it. You know, you don't have to kill yourself trying to get every square inch of meat off these things. Then what I do is I try and, if I can, kind of create like a little door flap down the side like that. And again, this is not an exact science. I'm sure there's people who do these in the backwoods that are like, man, what are you doing? But this is going to work for us and our purposes. So that's one side, and then you kind of like I said, you kind of fillet from the outside in. You kind of cut this shell, the scaly skin, off the meat, and eventually, once you get it started, it should kind of start to peel like that. You can see it starting to open up already. Don't want to cut towards yourself. These garfish are super slippery.
As you guys can see, the meat is super white.
Yeah, look at that super white meat.
Super clean looking meat.
The hardest part is getting a good grip on these things. You actually almost need two guys, one to hold the fish and one got to skin it out. It's almost like skinning. It's not even like filleting, it's like skinning.
It's just like when you're dealing with an alligator and when you're getting the hide off, you have to skin every square inch of it. You can't just peel any of it. Nothing like that ever works. You just have to cut every square inch to get it off.
You can see as you be very careful, because like I said, it's easy to cut yourself when you're doing these because they just are so slimy. Like honestly, I'm probably going to need Wade to put the camera down and help me with this, and we'll show you the finished product. Alright guys, this is kind of where you end up with almost like a little, kind of like a lobster shell. You know, you cut it down the spine and then you peel it back and there's your meat in the middle. The guts are under here, so be careful. You can see this meat is like super soft. It's like you can almost just pull it with your, with your hands. So there's still a spine down here, so you just kind of, very delicately. It is a gar, so we're not gonna like, cry over missing a little piece here and there, but basically now you just kind of cut it down the middle. Try not to get too deep into the guts. Super soft. You could almost like just rip it with your hands, which you actually can do. Like there, like that just came off of my hand, so that's just going to be a little nugget right there.
Looks like it's got some eggs.
Yeah. There's nugget number 2. It doesn't come off like a good fillet. It just kind of chunks off. These have been in the cooler all night, so we're just going to kind of get some gar chunks and fry them up. I'm actually not even going to really worry about filleting this. I'm just going to chunk it. But you can see what meat you get. It's really soft, kind of like, but I bet when you batter that and put it in a fryer, it's going to firm it up nice. I bet that's going to taste pretty good.
As you can see here, we have that tilapia that we filleted. All of the food here we rinsed in vinegar and some cold water. We got the frog legs here, got their pants off, and then we got some of that garfish here. Still has a little bit of that vinegar water in it. That vinegar water just cleans the fish, gets off any muddy flavor or any dirt that's on it. What we're going to be doing here is we're going to be taking this Louisiana Cajun fish fry, and then we're going to see how it holds up to some Florida fish fry. We're going to be doing just the gar in the Florida fish fry, and then we're going to be splitting up the tilapia and then doing the frog legs in the good old Cajun fish fry. We got our deep fryer here. It's heating up. It's going to take a little bit to heat up. We're just using some good old Louisiana Southern fry oil. This is a mix between vegetable oil and peanut oil, just because peanut oil is ridiculously priced nowadays. And then we're going to be making some sauce real quick for the frog legs. We basically treat frog legs like chicken wings here. So, alright, let's get these all battered up. What you want to do is you're going to want to dip it in some ice cold water and then throw it in your fry. Get a plate out. And just throw that on there. Same with your frog legs. Dip it in that cold water, shake off any remaining water, and just roll it in that. And then I personally like letting it sit for a little bit. That allows it to all adhere, the batter to adhere a little bit better. We're going to do the same exact thing over here with our gar and that Florida fish fry. And then we'll get these all done, and these will be done like that. Alright. There's our finished battered fish, and it's about to go in the fryer.
I have to tell you guys, I'm a little more excited about this than I am about the raccoon. Even the gar, I'm cautiously optimistic, so we'll see.
Can't have a fish fry without some french fries.
Alright, now we've got our gar going in. I'm interested to see what this is like because it was really soft and like you could just break it apart with your hands. In my mind it wasn't in a bad way, but I just kind of hope it firms up once it goes in the fryer. We'll see. It was just really mushy. But it had a good color and it didn't smell bad, so we'll see. I don't know why, I just feel like this gar is going to be kind of good. I just have totally a different opinion than when I was eating raccoon. Like raccoon from the beginning, I'm like, this is going to suck, and it did suck. But I don't know, like, I'm not a huge freshwater fish guy. I love saltwater fish. I love seafood. I mean, I don't eat, catfish if it's cooked perfectly, but even catfish can be rough sometimes. I like salmon and things like that, but I don't know. I don't like tilapia typically because it's mostly all farmed, but this tilapia, because it was in such clean, crisp water, I think it's going to be pretty good. I'm pretty excited about it. All right, we're about to take out the gar, which, again,
looks nice and golden.
I'm happy with it. This might be a new thing for me.
We'll throw in
Maybe some frog legs?
Frog legs. Yep.
Cajun covered frog legs. Very appropriate.
You don't want to overcrowd your basket.
In the oil.
Good stuff.
You also don't want the oil to be too hot, because you can burn your food in hot oil, but this looks like it's about perfect.
Yeah, 150 is where you want it at.
And that is Florida, probably a Florida spotted gar right there. I'm excited.
Alright guys, so frog legs are coming up to the end.
Yeah, those are probably done. Do we need to move these onto a plate or something? Oh, those are going straight in the sauce.
Straight in the sauce.
Alright.
A little bit of tilapia made its way into the sauce too. Take the rest of our frog legs. You want them all buffalo?
Sure, dump them in.
Toss in the sauce. Lead out the frog legs. Some of these are just little rivets. Fried french fries with some Uncle Jay's Cajun seasoning on there. Dude, if this is not fantastic, I don't know what is.
Dude, this is what I'm talking about.
This is as Florida as it gets.
This is as Florida as it gets. Yeah, you can do this in pretty much any body of water in Florida.
And you can kind of just use all this same cooking techniques on any fish or anything, gators, anything that comes out of the water.
This is all interchangeable, certainly.
Alright guys, so we're just gonna say a quick prayer and enjoy this great meal. Dear God, just thank you for letting us be able to get out there with Jake yesterday and harvest a bunch of food to bring home and make a great meal out of it. Thank you for good friendship. Thank you for having your son die on the cross for our sins, and help this food to bless our bodies. Just in pray. Amen.
Amen.
Alright. Let's dig in.
Let's try a piece of gar first, dude. Because that's what I'm
Is that what we're going for?
most interested in. I know frog legs are going to be pretty good. I know tilapia is going to be decent, but let's try some gar. Alright, man. There's nothing wrong with that. It's almost kind of like chicken. I mean, it's cliche, but I mean.
Now I see why people say it tastes like alligator. I mean, we've never eaten gar before.
Like, this is a big piece, like. I mean, if that's not like a chicken nugget, I mean, I know frog legs kind of taste like chicken. I mean, everybody kind of knows that, but this is like, this is a Chick-fil-A nugget right here, guys.
Dude, this is going in some Polynesian sauce. Yeah, dude.
I'll eat gar every day, dude. I mean, I'm not even joking. I mean, it's not the best fish I've ever had in my life, but there is. It's just, it's like soft chicken.
Mm-hmm.
It's got no like dirt, like no mud flavor, nothing like what catfish can be.
Dude, that tastes exactly like a piece of chicken.
Yeah, it tastes.
And honestly, it's like
weird.
Alligator.
Not as tough,
just not like chewy.
Yeah, no,
It's like non-chewy alligator, which does taste like chicken.
As not cliche as you can be, it tastes very much like chicken. It's just like slightly softer than chicken.
That's what's up.
Not bad at all. I mean, actually, I would say it's good.
It's fantastic.
Not only is it not bad, it's good. We got some.
I clean the palate with a French fry.
There you go. Clean the top. Yep. So, a lot of people have had tilapia. It's obviously an edible fish. I mean, nothing like revolutionary here. I don't like it, but this is different than farm tilapia. It's wild. It was super flaky.
Yeah, that is as flaky as it gets.
You'll see in some of that footage how clear the water was. So, I mean, this is probably as good of tilapia as you're ever going to find.
It's not bad.
Gar's better.
Gar's a lot better.
Yeah.
But that's not bad.
No, it's not bad. It has a little bit of like a, kind of like a metallic-y kind of taste. I don't know. It's just kind of like, it's got a little bit of like mineral. Yeah, I don't know. It's not muddy like catfish can be. I mean, it's definitely good. Like, I'm going to enjoy this meal. It just I mean, tilapia just tastes like a freshwater fish. I mean,
yeah.
It's not bad. There's nothing special about it. It's tilapia.
Yep.
The gar, I mean, it's so much like chicken, I'm putting buffalo sauce on it, and it's like a chicken nugget. I mean, it's really incredible. But, yeah. All of it is good. I mean, frog legs are good.
Super tender.
Mm-hmm. Like a chicken wing.
Just like a little tiny miniature chicken wing. Mm.
Yep.
Alright, guys. We're going to finish up this meal real quick. If you guys like this video, you guys want to see more videos like that, leave a comment below, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. That would help us out tremendously. And we'll see you guys in probably next weekend.
Yep.